What is going on, fight fans? So today we're going to talk about, is Esports Boxing Club dropping in quality more and more as we get more information? Let's go ahead and tackle that topic. Now, this is a very interesting topic that I see a lot of people have been bringing up. Hey man, it looks like, Esports Boxing Club is dropping in quality more and more. The more I see of it, the more I don't. I think it's going backwards, or we're not moving forwards, or what have you, right? So there's a lot of that type of talk from some of the people that have been following ESBC. Now, one of that to me is a very interesting. It's a very interesting thought process. They see maybe a few clips here or a picture here, and they think that the overall quality of the entire game has been dropping from snippets. For example, they see a picture like this, and then they completely forget that just even less than a month or a month and some change ago, we had a picture like this. Now, you can see the texture and the depth in this, but all of a sudden, this is the quality. So within 1 month, they decided to just reduce and strip all texture from a character model. We see a video like this, and we just forget that a few months ago, we saw a video like this, one that we really like and appreciated. So it's interesting to me that we are so quick to completely forget the past. I vividly remember watching one of the trailers where they were like, oh, there's no footwork. You can't see any footwork at all. Look, this game has no footwork. They completely removed the footwork. Mind you, we had this trailer that was just focused on showing us the footwork. And I find it interesting that people, literally, it's called the Alpha Movement trailer, completely forgot about that and jumped on the notion that there's no footwork, there's no movement around the ring, you can't do anything with your legs, your legs are just walking forward and backwards. Now, it's important to understand that when we see something like this, for example, that is not representative of the entire game. Does that in and of itself in a vacuum look good? Absolutely not. Does the King Kong Carol picture in and of itself in a vacuum look good? Absolutely not. Is that a indicator of the entirety of the game? Absolutely not. See, here's the thing. You have to keep the same energy. You have to keep the same line of debate or the same line of reasoning. For all of those people out there that have said, hey, stop hyping up the game. Stop saying it's cool. Stop saying it's good. Stop saying it looks fire. Stop saying it looks like a fire game when you haven't played it. Stop saying that it's a good game. It's a real good game. You haven't played it yet. Until you play it, you don't know. You just giving it hype. Why doesn't that train of thought or that line of thinking also work for the opposite direction? Because being negative is just the base level thought process. So negativity is the base level thought process. The default thought process is to be negative, not to be positive. It's to be negative. That's the default thought process. So if anything leans towards showing negativity towards the game's development or it being a good game, then that's the side that we have to default to. And that side needs no explanation and needs no one to have to play it to prove that it is a negative experience, right? So it's almost like you got to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that it is a positive experience. No, it should be split down the middle 50-50 because we don't know if it's good and we also don't know if it's bad unless we play it. And we don't know if it's good and we don't know if it's bad until we play the thing that they release. Even what I played was incredibly enjoyable, super deep, had a lot of variety to the way that you could attack the gameplay in a way where it has never been done in another boxing game before. I can control distance better than I could in any boxing game ever. I could use a check punch to tame the aggression of my opponent. I can switch in and out between loose footwork to create distance, to move around the ring, to be very unpredictable at the drop of a hat. I can create combinations without having to dip down to hit the body, giving me a more elusive and more deceptive combination that can attack both the body and head. It was very deep and an experience that I've never experienced before, and it was not even complete. It was not even complete. I can't imagine what the completed version or just a more developed version of it, which will probably be the early access. The early access is probably going to be 10 to 20 times better than what I played. And what I played was already one of my favorite experiences of all time when it came to a boxing video game. The same judgment that you place on a boxing game before you play it in terms of someone's hype or positivity towards the game should be the same judgment you place to someone who's judging things based off of a few clips here and there. And also forgetting the things that we've seen in the past, forgetting all of the positive stuff that they've seen and just thinking that they've thrown that out the window, sometimes even as quickly as 1 month. They've had this type of graphics for the entire time, and then with 1 month between the last time they showcased something with that type of graphics, they've thrown those graphics out the window. Come on, guys. Be more, I wouldn't even say reasonable. Just be more, just be more straightforward with your reasoning. What's the reason why you came up with the drop in quality? What's the reason why you are positive about the game? And if that reason doesn't stay in a straight line, then you just have an internal agenda, or you just have an internal feeling that you've leaned towards, and you just want whatever that comes out to justify where you've leaned towards. So if you're leaning towards a negative thought of the game, you just want things to come out to justify that. You're not going to stay consistent with your line of thought. If you say that the game looks, if you say that, hey, stop hyping up the game, stop saying the game looks good until you play it, but then they show 1 second of 2 people spamming a button, and then you go, look at that, the game looks horrible. But shouldn't you, based on your reasoning, based on your consistent line of thought, think, no, until I play it, I can't say that it doesn't look good. This is what I'm talking about. Don't get caught up, guys, between even the positive people that talk about it or the negative people that talk about it. Don't get caught up in any of that noise. Simply play the game when it comes out. When the game releases, play the game for yourself and see if you yourself like the game. That's it. And then one more thing before I end the video. This game is going to be very important. It's not going to be very important for Steel City Interactive. I mean, it might, yeah, I'm sure it is. Yeah, it's important for them, but that's not what I'm referring to. It's going to be important for boxing video game fans, because I don't know how delusional a lot of you guys are out there in this, and how you come up with the reasonings for the way you think. But if this game fails, it will be the biggest warning shot to any other developer to cease or not even step into the ring, metaphorically speaking, when it comes to boxing video games and creating a licensed boxing video games with real fighters. They're not even going to entertain that idea. And if you think that EA is sitting back and looking, and if ESBC fails, they're gonna be like, ha, this is our chance to get in here. If you think that they're looking at it like that, then you don't even understand marketing and how predictive income comes into play. ESBC will be a case study to EA that if they should even entertain the idea of maybe coming back in to create another fight night. It's only really the success of ESBC that will garner any interest from EA to step back into the ring, because the profit margins are too low for them to even try it unless they know they can be massively successful. And if ESBC isn't successful, EA Fight Night Round 5 or Champion 2 will just not exist, and we will be waiting for another 11 years, 12 years before anyone is brave enough to maybe attempt it again. And this is not saying make ESBC successful at all costs. If the game is not a good game, then I mean, that's the market. You didn't provide a good product for the market, therefore the market does not want your product. But to blindly just be negative, and even if the game is good, out of pettiness or negativity, you just simply are hardline trying to ensure that the game gets no support because maybe you're an EA fan. Trust me, you're shooting your EA fandom in the foot, because you will never get another boxing video game. And that is the cold hard truth. They don't go based off of pettiness. EA won't go and say, haha, ESBC messed up, so for all you EA guys that like us, now we're making a game. That's not how it works. They go by numbers. They don't care about what people say, they care about what numbers say. If ESBC is successful, that gives them a reason to come into the arena. If not, they're gonna stay and leave it shelved for years and years and years until there's some reason to let them believe that they will make profit off of this game. Anyways, that's my 2 cents on that topic. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. And of course, as always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.